Hey, welcome to the old cabin out here on Turkey Creek. We're in the middle of November and we're right between deer seasons. Muzzleloader deer season ended about a week and a half ago, and it's about 3 days until regular gun season starts. Of course, for me, regular gun season is just a 16-day extension of muzzleloading season. That's what I enjoy hunting with, and those old guns are certainly capable of putting meat in the freezer. I've put one in the freezer already this year, and hope to get at least 2 more in there so we have enough meat to get us through the winter. But what I wanted to talk to you about this evening, I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk to you about how you're getting your deer out of the field. Now, if you're like me, you don't have some place where you can drive the pickup right up to the animal, and you usually end up dragging the deer quite a ways. For me, it's a few hundred yards at least. And it gets kind of old trying to grab those antlers on that buck or put a rope around the feet and the head of that doe. So what I've done is I've made a deer drag. Now, it's pretty simple to make. It's probably just as simple to go down to your local sporting goods store and buy one made out of that nylon stuff. Of course, y'all know me. I don't go in for nylon. I like leather and rope and things like that, things that they used back in the 18th and 19th centuries. So I'm going to show you this evening how to just make a real simple deer drag, and then you can drag your deer out of the field with both hands free to carry your rifle in one hand and whatever you've got to carry in the other one. You don't even need to use your hands to drag that deer out of the woods. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a piece of leather strap about 3 feet long. You want it to be at least a couple of inches wide. This is 2.5 inches wide on this strap, and I've already used it, and it's very comfortable when you're pulling a 100-plus pound deer. So you're going to take your strap and you're going to come to each end and you're going to cut a little slot through the strap, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches maybe. You don't want to make it too big. Stay about 1 inch back from the end of the leather. And what I would suggest is that when you cut your slot, you want to take a leather punch and punch a hole at each end so that you don't have the possibility of tearing the leather on past where you've cut it. So punch your holes and make your cut so you have a slot in each end. And that's all you need to do to the leather. Then you're going to take a couple of pieces of 1/4 to 3/8 inch rope. I used 1/4, and it's held up quite well. I would suggest you start off with about 6 feet of rope, and what you're going to do is you're going to make an eye splice on each end. Now, if you don't know how to make an eye splice, there's plenty of videos out on YouTube that can show you how. I happened to learn this technique many years ago when I was packing mules in Montana and Idaho, and then I promptly forgot how to do it after all those years, and so I myself had to look it up on YouTube and refresh my memory. But what you're going to do is you're going to make an eye splice in each end of your rope, and you're going to do that on 2 ropes. About the same, you want to make them about the same length, and that's all you need to do to your ropes. Once you've made your eye splices, they're ready to go. They're ready to put on your leather. What I would suggest you do is go ahead and put a loop in one end of your rope like that, and then take the other end and feed it through the slot on your leather. Doesn't really matter if you come from the back or come from the front to begin with, but just push your loop through your leather, and then take your leather, feed it through, and that rope is attached to your leather. That's all you've got to do on that end. Then go ahead and make your loop on the other. Then take the unlooped end, take the eye, and feed it through the leather on the other end. Now this time, you're going to have to start with the end of your first rope and feed it through. And then feed the leather through. And you've got your leather looped on both ends. So here you've got your completed deer drag with your loops in the ends to loop around the antlers or around the front feet or whatever you need to loop on the deer to make it secure. Once you have those looped around the deer, you step into your drag. It goes over your shoulder just like you would the strap of your bullet pouch. And then the deer is behind you and you can start dragging. You've got your hands free to pick up your rifle in one hand, the bag with the deer heart in the other, because you're going to take that deer heart home with you and you're going to cook it and eat it because it's one of the best cuts of the whole animal. So that's it. I've made my drag. I'm ready to go hunting. And one other thing I might throw in about this drag is if you're a historical primitive trekker, you can use this as a tump line for your bedroll. Just loop this around each end of your bedroll, throw a couple of half hitches on, you're ready to throw it over your shoulder and go. Well, that's how we make a deer drag on Turkey Creek in the year of 1823. Keep your nose in the wind and your eyes on the skyline.